Good evening and welcome. This is the 1st of April 2017, a brand new month, and this is a brand new edition of the Weekend Primetime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo this evening. I'm Joel Oxgun. Let's start off with a look at the headlines first. President Sirisena engaged in sudden inspection tour of the Kenya hospital. Tensions flare between UMPers and ministers during an Ambalangoda meeting. Civil societies raise concerns that the government is attempting to increase the tax burden on the people. Tax concessions on rice imports extended till the 31st of May. A protest at the Kenya base hospital calling on officials to increase the capacity of the hospital, which was being staged for over the past 4 days, came to an end today through the intervention of President Maithripala Sirisena.
President today engaged in a sudden inspection visit of the Kenya base hospital. The president arrived at the hospital while en route to the Yonpura camp in Trincomalee. According to our correspondent in the area, the president pledged to resolve the issues plaguing the hospital during discussions with the protesters.
Now on to a story that we at Newsfirst have been closely monitoring. The dengue epidemic has claimed the lives of 53 individuals over the past 90 days. Health officials reveal that over the past 4 days, they have filed cases against 776 persons who had created environments conducive for breeding of dengue mosquitoes. Now, authorities charge that even though multiple warnings and guidelines have been issued, the public continue to pay little attention to their environs and the possibility of dengue breeding grounds.
The dengue virus claimed the life of a 23-year-old youth from the Vascado area in Kalutara today. He was admitted to the Panadura base hospital recently and was subsequently transferred to the ICU after it was revealed that he was suffering from dengue. However, the victim passed away today.
කිව්වා මියුණ කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ කිව්වා මේ ඩෙන්ගුව රක්තපාත නරක මේක හැදලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. දවස් 4ක් හිටියේ ස්පිතාලේ.
Health officials revealed that 26,000 dengue patients were diagnosed over the course of this year. Nearly 50% of the patients were reported from the Western Province. Last Wednesday, the Ministry of Health announced a dengue eradication week. Of the 130,000 lands inspected during this period, 24,000 acres conducive for mosquito breeding were discovered. Mosquito larvae were discovered from within 2,999 of these locations. Meanwhile, the influenza virus has also been extending its reach in a number of areas around the country. 528 influenza patients were identified over the past 90 days, according to statistics by health officials. The Ministry of Health has already launched a program to combat the influenza virus from entering the country from overseas. A special screening process has been set up for individuals coming into Sri Lanka from other countries. If you are suffering from symptoms of fever, consult a qualified doctor. Do not take drugs other than paracetamol without a doctor's approval. Refrain from frequenting public places in order to limit the spread of the disease.
This is a plot of land located in the Gajaba Mawati in Kirulapana. Area residents charge that the Colombo Municipal Council has been dumping garbage in the area. The area residents had informed the police in this regard, which led to a heated exchange of words between area residents and CMC members. Residents charge that the dumping of garbage leads to possible mosquito breeding grounds. We will discuss the matter with the Commissioner. I have to responsibly state that we will provide an alternate location for the garbage to be dumped. In addition, I am thankful to the Sirasa Media Network for bringing people's issues to our attention.
Well, now, civil societies raise concerns that the government is attempting to increase the tax burden on the people. The Employee Provident Fund was a victim of the bond scam that took place. The government is now preparing to tax the EPF. This extortionate government is trying to extort the people's money through various rules and regulations and by using their power. If an employee had 500,000 in his EPF, if he received a 10% benefit, he will receive 50,000 in his account. Now he will only receive 36,000 rupees. This is a serious matter. Civil society state that this matter is made clear when going through the budget documents pertaining to the 2017 financial year. Under technical note on taxation of the 2017 budget speech, it says that the present tax rate of 10% applicable for funds such as the EPF and ETF, charitable institutions, dividends, treasury bonds and treasury bills and any other sector will be increased to 14%. We can see that the current government is feeding the thieves and are feeding poison to the public. The only economic policy the government is carrying out to the letter is the application of taxes. They charge taxes from the people. The EPF is not something the government gives people for free. This is the right of the people and these are the funds of the people. These are the people's savings.
ජනතාවගෙන් බදු අය කරන එක. මේ අර්ථසාධක අරමුදල කියන්නේ රාජ්‍යය මහ ජනතාවට පිනට දෙන දෙයක් නෙවෙයි.
At a time when there is objection asking that this tax be removed, the government has increased this value from 10 to 14%. The government is acting as if the working class is their enemy. These are the actions behind this thinking. They do not tax the wealthy. They are provided with concessions.
As mentioned on the headlines this evening, a tense situation arose during a meeting of UMPA party activists in Ambalangoda.
The meeting was organised at the party office of UNP organiser Bennett Paniandua in order to discuss the party's future activities as well as plans for the May Day rally. Minister P. Harrison as well as Vajirabe Gunawardena were present at the occasion. A tense situation arose as party members were not given a chance to raise their concerns. There was a request by the party members from the 4 electorates to raise questions. However, this was denied. A tense situation occurred when Minister P. Harrison, Vajirabe Gunawardena and the 4 electoral organisers got off the stage. These people continue to stay with the party because they love the party. However, their aspirations have not been met. This tense situation was caused because of these emotions. I personally believe that it would have been good if the people were given at least 10 minutes to voice their concerns. We cannot engage in politics like this. We are political activists at the village level. They express their views and leave. We have questions for them. The people from Sirikota are not addressing the concerns of the people. The party leadership is not addressing our concerns. They take millions for the well-being for the people, but they don't do anything with these funds. The ministers from both parties are given about 4.5 million each. The government consists of 2 factions. If one faction is able to do work for the people, why can't they? Mahinda was called a rogue by the entire country, but people still flock around him because he took care of the party members. The UMP should treat its members better. There is no point if they don't discuss our concerns. We need to tell them of the shortcomings we face. We need to express our stern protest against the failure to give us a chance to raise our concerns.
We will not attend the May Day rally. We will boycott it.
Minister of Regional Development Field Marshal Sarat Fonseca attended an event in Kelaniya today. There is an attempt to appoint Akhila Viraj as the Deputy General Secretary. What do you think? Akhila Viraj is a talented and efficient young politician. He is currently the Deputy General Secretary. From what we hear, he is being considered for the position of General Secretary. He will be able to discharge his duties as efficiently as the current General Secretary. You entered the UMP recently. There are many seniors in the party, but we have received word that you are being considered for the post of Assistant Leader. What do you have to say about this? There are talks about it. I may be new to the UMP, but I was at the forefront of the battle to defeat the Rajapaksas and the likes of Vimal. We worked for over 5 years. I believe that our efforts also strengthened the UMP. It was the UMP that brought me into politics, so the UMP must have felt it is all right to give me such a position. It will happen only if the working committee approves it. Meanwhile, former State Minister Professor Rajiv Vijay Singh shared these views on the possible shake-up in positions of the United National Party.
Well, it's a very clear sign that he's just not interested in either talent or intelligence or experience. I suppose he doesn't want anyone who would challenge him. I think again, Fonseca is one of those who has no political identity of his own. Of course, I think Rani underestimates him. You think he wants people who will, just do whatever he says. And Akhil Viraj, I suppose, who has no identity of his own, will be the ideal person in such a situation.
Well, local rice producers charge that there is a possibility of the local rice market collapsing due to the importation of rice. With rice prices skyrocketing in the recent past, steps were taken by the government to impose a control price. Due to the price of paddy increase, local vendors charge that they cannot sell rice at control price. Due to this, steps were taken by the government to import rice in order to maintain the control price. Tax concessions were also granted for the importation of rice. The concessions were to expire on the 31st of March. However, the Minister of Finance took steps to extend the concession till the 31st of May, taking into consideration the upcoming festive season. Under the concessions, 5 rupees were charged from each kilogram of imported rice as a special commodity levy. Prior to the concessions, this value stood at around 50 rupees. Local rice producers charge that due to the importation of rice, their trade is in jeopardy. According to rice producers, nearly 150 small-scale mills in the Polonnaru district have been forced to shut down their operations due to this situation. They started to import rice and mix it up with rice produced locally. When rice is imported, these persons purchase these stocks as well. They will take steps to drive up prices to 100 rupees. They have sold over 14 billion kilograms of paddy at a price of 24 rupees as animal feed. Paddy was sold recently at around 50 rupees. Paddy stocks which were stored at the Matale airport were sold cheaply to the Mendis company, which is owned by Aloysius. Aloysius is the son-in-law of Arjun Mahendran. These rogues are selling the paddy produced by the consumers to liquor manufacturers. Can we expect such a government to protest the consumers and farmers in this country?
Minister
of Finance Ravi Karunanayake engaged in a tour of Kandy today.
Minister of Finance Ravi Karunanayake, who arrived in Kandy, obtained the blessings of the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic. The Finance Minister and his delegation met with the Mahanayaka of the Askari chapter, Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Gnanaratana Thera, and engaged in cordial discussion. Ravi Karunanayake also met with the Chief Prelate of the Malwatu chapter, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thera.
agreement එක ආවා දැනගන්න පුළුවන් අපි ඉතිස්සත් කතා කරන්න බෑනේ අපි හැමෝටම ඇතුලේ තියෙන්නේ මොනවද කියලා කිසිම හානියක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ රටේ නේද කියන්නේ සින්නක් කර දුන්නේ අපි නෙමෙයි හැමෝටම ඒක දුන්නේ ඉස්සලාන් දැන් අපි අවුලේ කරන්න තමයි ඒක දැන් අදහස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ අපි මෙතන ඒ පරිපාලනය විතරක් තියලා තියෙනවා.
The Minister of Finance spoke to the media following the meeting.
There was a decrease in rice produced due to the drought. That is why we gave room to import rice. But we will protect the local rice producers as well. If you go into a shop, you will be able to see that the price of rice is decreased. JVP parliamentarian Bimal Ratnayaka shared these views on paddy during an event held today. In July, Minister Harrison said that the paddy harvest has increased greatly and that they will be in a position to export rice. He said that he is willing to sell these stocks. They spent 380 million rupees to purchase paddy and fill up the warehouses. They then brought an argument that they need to clear the warehouses and sold these paddy stocks for animal feed at 24 rupees a kilogram. Political corruption has made your lives twice as hard as usual. The parliamentarian also expressed these views. They're planning on selling the Hambantota port, the CPC, the oil tank in Trincomalee, the eastern terminal of the Colombo port and Sri Lankan Airlines. They're even making attempts to sell the John De Silva Memorial Hall. What does Ranil Wickremesinghe think of each morning before he washes his mouth? He thinks, what should I sell today? 5 months ago, he spoke for 50 minutes in Parliament on how to rebuild the economy. The words farmer, fisherman and local products were not present in his speech. UPFA MP Roshan Ranasinghe expressed these views during an event held in Polonnaruwa today. They purchased paddy at 45 rupees and sold it at 23 rupees. We saw them provide tax concessions for a factory in the eastern province. The company has been owned by the son-in-law of Arjuna Mahendran. They ran on a platform of reducing alcohol usage. However, they are now providing tax concessions to build distilleries. What did Ranil do when we came into power in 2001? He removed the taxes imposed on all black money users. The paddy stored at the Mattala airport has been sent to this distillery. The people don't have rice to eat. However, paddy is being sold as animal feed. They are now asking people to eat croton leaves and jackfruit leaves. You're tuned on to the weekend edition of Primetime News. We're still following some local stories here at home. Now, a number of motor accidents were reported from across the island today.
A lorry heading from Jaffna towards Bogavantalawa fell into a precipice, claiming the life of one individual and injuring 7 others in the Nanuoya area in Nuwara. The injured are currently receiving treatment at the Nuwara Hospital. 3 individuals suffered injuries when a lorry fell into the Pulanchiya tank in Senaradgama along the Anuradhapura Padeniya main road. The lorry had been transporting LP gas from Colombo to Anuradhapura. The accident occurred at around 4 a.m. when the driver fell asleep at the wheel. A container crashed into a stationary lorry around 5 a.m. today in close proximity to the Balapitiya bridge along the Galle-Colombo main road. The driver and the assistant of the container who suffered injuries are receiving treatment at the Balapitiya base hospital. The vehicle of former Deputy Minister W.G. Padmasiri met with an accident at the Vagolla area in Bulat Kohupitiya when returning from a funeral. The former Deputy Minister and the driver of the SUV who suffered injuries in the crash have been admitted to the Karavanalla base hospital.
Well, the News First has received footage of 2 police officers assaulting an individual in broad daylight. Now, this incident was reported from Dodangoda. When inquired, the OIC of the Dodangoda Motor Traffic Division stated that the officers had been pursuing a motorbike that had failed to heed orders. The motorcyclist had met with an accident in the Dodangoda junction. Investigations have revealed that the motorcyclist does not possess a driver's license. The motorcyclist is currently receiving treatment at the Narwad hospital. Up next is our investigative journalism segment, Action TV.
Over the past few days, Action TV revealed details of the lease agreement signed between the UDA and a certain company to lease this plot of land located in close proximity to the Lake House roundabout for a period of 50 years. Today, officials of the UDA shared their views with Action TV. They told us that the initial agreement for a 50-year lease on the land was signed in 2003, and during that time, the company in question paid a sum of 557 million rupees of the estimated 2,785 million rupees. The chairman of the UDA also confirmed that the subject minister in May 2016 called on the UDA to reclaim the land as the company in question had failed to pay their dues to the UDA for a period of 3 years and 7 months. However, a decision was taken to ink another agreement with the company in question. The UDA notes that this decision had to be taken because the authority was cash-strapped and because of another reason.
He told us repeatedly that if steps are taken to reclaim the land, he would pursue legal action. We have taken the best decision when you consider the opportunity cost. This decision does not waste public funds, does not impede development, and has the least impact on the UDA.
ඒ වගේම සංවර්ධන කටයුතු වලටත් ඉස්සරහට යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම රටේ සල්ලි නාස්ති නොවෙනත් ක්‍රමයකට තමයි අපි මේ ගිහින් තියෙන්නේ.
However, the more serious issue is that when drawing up the new agreement, steps have been taken to discount for the 557 million rupees paid 3 years and 4 months ago and also pay a sum of 330 million as interest to the company in question.
For example, if he kept this money in a bank, he would receive an interest of at least 330 million.
However, the Auditor General has questioned as to how the state suffered a loss of over 983 million rupees due to the failure of the company in question to pay the full estimated value.
The Auditor General says that if this sum was paid, the government would have earned such a sum of money. He is talking about something that did not happen. If it happened, there would be no point of talking about it.
Incidentally, there is no acceptable document which shows that the management board of the UDA gave a clear and concise decision to approve the new agreement signed with the company in question.
Now, the Minister of Housing and Construction, Sajid Premadasa, held an event in Trincomalee today.
Geneva does not need to issue instructions to Sri Lanka to safeguard our human rights. This is our duty. This is our responsibility. Our government is fulfilling this responsibility. Our country does not need advice from Geneva. We don't need advice from overseas on how we should conduct our internal activities. The first stone for the 386th Udagamane in Kapalture, Trincomalee, which is being built in line with the Yaunpura concept, was laid today. Opposition leader R. Sambandhan was also present at the occasion.
Starting off sports this evening, it's cricket. Now Sri Lanka clinched an emphatic 70-run victory at the SSC today in the third ODI and final against Bangladesh, levelling the series 1-all. On to more sports. Now the Sport First Platinum Award ceremony to recognise and honour the best sportsmen and women of our nation was held with much pomp and pageantry at the Stein Studios in Rothmalana last evening.
Sport First Platinum Awards 2016 with YFM.
A number of sports personalities and celebrities walked on the red carpet last evening for the most extravagant sports award ceremony organised by Sports First and YFM. The event was made colourful with dance and song. Newsfirst has become a brand that evolves with the fast-growing world. Newsfirst has now become the hope of the Sri Lankan people. The jurors who selected the award winners were also appreciated at the event.
The Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited over the years has been connecting with the hearts and the minds of the people, and it has always been associated and been appreciative of excellence. So what other better way than to be associated with excellence in sports? It is with this thought that some time back we decided to institute the Platinum Awards.
There were no award ceremonies for sportsmen and women in the past. Sirius was the first media institution that started this trend. This is a timely program. Sirius is a channel that lives with the people. It is the only channel to have a program dedicated to discuss matters pertaining to sports. I extend my appreciation to Sirius for starting something like this at a time no one understood what is happening to sports. I believe that this award ceremony will be a strength for the upcoming sportsmen and women. Well, on that note, we wrap up the weekend edition of Prime 2 News. Thank you very much for stopping by. It was a pleasure having you with us this evening. Latest and trending stories follows on our website, www.newsfirst.lk. Take care. Good night.